When it comes to building ADKAR in a person, one of the key elements is knowledge. Once we've built awareness and desire in a person for a change, they still do not know how to change. Simply put, it's not enough to know why you're changing or the reasons it's beneficial, nor is it enough to know that you do want to change. The next logical step, as you may have guessed it, is to know how to change. And that is what knowledge in the ADKAR model is all about. In this video, we will explore what knowledge is, how you can build and measure it, as well as some of the common pitfalls associated to it. This is part 4 of a 6-part series on the ADKAR model. So if you haven't already seen it, take a look at the video in the top right on the ADKAR model explained. My name is Nick, and we are And Change. Knowledge is the third step in the ADKAR model, and simply put, it measures somebody's technical skills related to the change or the future state. It is in this element that an individual becomes familiar with what needs to be done differently in order to adopt the change and drive the desired results. To hark back to a previous example of a father trying to teach his son how to drive, the father is telling the son about what the pedals do, what this lever does, what are the risks and how best to mitigate them. It is at this point that the father is building knowledge in his son on how to be a driver. For those of you operating in an agile environment, this is one of those ADKAR elements that you will plan and build for at a sprint level as needed. For more information on how ADKAR and Agile integrate together, be sure to reference the link in the video description below. So in brief, knowledge answers the question of how do I change? Let's take a look at how change managers measure knowledge in an individual. Measuring knowledge is relatively simple to think of, but difficult to execute. A change manager may assess an individual to help gauge his level of knowledge on that particular change. Note that this assessment should not be about the individual's awareness of the need to change. It's rather about the technical skills required for that individual to thrive in the future state. For example, if your change is the implementation of a new CRM system, you may design, as the change manager, an assessment for your sales teams on the use of the new CRM system. The reason assessing knowledge can be sometimes challenging is because often the assessments you would build to assess the knowledge are tailored and customized not only to the change, but also to the future state you're trying to achieve. This becomes even more tricky when we consider complex, subtle, powerful changes like culture change. Nonetheless, having an assessment of the current knowledge of an individual enables a change manager to do some gap analysis and identify what they can do to build knowledge in that individual for that change. In essence, building knowledge answers the question of how do I do X, Y, and Z? Typically, therefore, this is done through training. However, building knowledge can be a delicate process. Tom illustrates this best with his conversation with our partners in Istanbul.
What I also discovered was that as I learned new ways, I subconsciously kept asking myself if I still wanted to change. Knowledge challenges desire, and this can cause me to stop wanting to change, spinning me backwards to having to build more desire. The surprise for me was that knowledge involved constant self-assessment and choosing if I was ready to learn more. So when I think of building knowledge, I picture a person who with the left hand is pulling on desire and with the right hand is pulling on ability. Knowledge becomes the force that joins my desire to change with my ability to perform in the new way.
Additionally, building knowledge happens at 2 levels, the theoretical and the practical. Building theoretical knowledge can take place in many forms, from reading a book to watching a video tutorial. It imparts knowledge on how to change from principles. It gives you the principles you need to know to achieve your future states. The practical knowledge is imparted through example and demonstration. It is the knowledge you would require to practically do things in the new way. Only with both elements in place can an individual truly know how to change. To put it simply, how to think and how to act in order to change. Building knowledge is also tricky to time. Build it too soon, in other words, prior to doing awareness and desire in an individual, and chances are you will have to go through knowledge building exercises again, a lengthy and expensive process. Go too late, and chances are the individual is not ready for the change when it hits. We handle this topic, amongst others, in depth in our ProSci Change Management Certification Program. Building knowledge in teams and organizations is simply a matter of scaling what you do at the individual level. And this can be done through the execution of 2 of the 5 plans a change manager puts together. Namely, those 2 plans are the training plan and the coaching plan. The one imparts primarily theoretical knowledge, and the other imparts primarily practical knowledge. Through the implementation of both, teams impacted by the change will have both the practical and theoretical knowledge on how to change. These plans can sometimes be living documents as the change progresses. And this is because the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. As a wise man once said, specifically Socrates, "Wise is he who knows he does not know." Tom illustrates this point, recounting his experience of learning how to lead people.
That's when I discovered that building knowledge can be iterative. As I learned, I discovered how much more I needed to learn to become an expert at what I was doing. So after learning enough to start leading a team, I needed to learn more if I wanted to become genuinely good at this newfound skill.
You will note here that a change manager's communication plan does not build knowledge. I'll say that again. A change manager's communication plan does not build knowledge. This is one of the most common pitfalls that change managers and leaders alike fall into. The reason why communications plans do not impart knowledge is because although you are communicating what the future state may look like or does look like, you are unable to impart theoretical or practical knowledge through communications alone. So, a key step in anybody's change journey is knowledge. And this is because it gives people the skills on how to change. It is the step that sets up people, projects, and organizations to succeed in change. But knowledge does not facilitate change alone. So be sure to check out our other videos on ADKAR. We love hearing from you, so please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. From myself, Nick, and everyone here at AndChange, happy changes.